Today we are going to talk a little about some appropriate technologies that, through the farm, we have been incorporating into the production system. They are systems that have allowed us to look for a little more sustainability because they are systems that are established with very little money and the efficiency at the time of producing food is greater. They are micro tunnels or micro greenhouses. The farm was born 9 years ago, and since that date, we have been very restless in the research part, and we have developed several research models precisely to improve processes or to look for the most efficient production models for us. One of the investigations was analyzing the productivity and efficiency of these micro tunnels with vegetables in open fields where climatic conditions can affect the vegetables and products in different ways. While we were making these comparisons, we found that while in the open field of lettuce took us 8 weeks to get to the market or to the table, in these controlled systems, we were taking between 5 and 6 weeks. It was 3 weeks less in the development of these plants and 3 weeks in one stage of development of a plant. Regardless of the species we are handling, which translates into economic income, we can manage in a controlled way the humidity required by those soils, where we are establishing the plants in those micro tunnels. There are many variables that we can control. There are some systems of these micro tunnels to which they even put some nets on the windows that are left because they can control the access of insects or pests. However, we are immersed in an agroecological model here in the farm. For us, the interactions that occur between insects are very important. Pest insects in any production model are usually going to be there, but we try to balance this with those natural enemies that also come into the system. We are talking about lacewings, trichogramma, and all those beneficial insects that will be in charge of controlling those pest populations that we can have. For the implementation of the microtunnels, we here at the farm are using plastic poles made by some companies here in Eastern Antigua based on the use of plastic containers generated in agriculture, for example, pesticide containers. These containers end in a kind of rods that allow some flexibility, which is what we use to form these arches that are the ones we use to establish the final structure of the micro tunnel. For that we need some very basic tools. We already have the posts. We are going to make a plastic cover with a plastic, obviously, and that is what will make the greenhouse effect, and that will cover the ground. We need wire to fix the posts in arc, and also to fix the tension lines of the plastic in the field. We will use some very basic tools such as a hammer, pliers, plastic stitcher and stapler. The rest is to have the adequate land, as we saw in the previous step, which was to form the terrace, and now what we do is to establish the greenhouse there. If in our farms we do not have this type of wood, we can replace it with PVC pipes. It is an option. If we have guadilla, we can also use this material to form the arches, because the idea of these arches that we are making is only to support the plastic. These plastics are not so heavy, so the structure does not require specific materials. The important thing is to take advantage of what we have available. Let's see this plastic post that we are going to convert at this time in the arch that we require for the implementation of the micro tunnel. These are 2-meter posts, 50. They give some arches, which after we fix them in the ground, give us a working area of approximately 80 centimeters wide, with a height of about 80 to 90 centimeters. We said that they are small greenhouses, and the idea is to generate a microclimate. We can make them wider or narrower, according to the measures that our lot has to produce. We were saying, when we were showing the terraces we developed, that we played with 80 centimeters of working area and 20 centimeters of a road area, and each one of the terraces we have here has those spaces. These arches and this measure, which is the one that will be covering the working area, has 80 centimeters approximately. With the arches ready, we go to the field to make the terrace as such, that is, the micro tunnel. We are in one of the productive lots of the farm. It is a system where we have already designed over time some terraces that provide us with some benefits. They are terraces that in most of the productive lots of the farm have certain measures, since we find that they are optimal for the work that we perform. The purpose of the terrace is to be able to optimize the water resource, so that the rainwater does not take away the nutrients that we provide to the soil, turning it into a nutritious soil for the future crops. We are going to implement a system of micro tunnels or micro greenhouses that will make small plastic covers that will cover the terrace as such, only the area where we grow the plants. This small micro greenhouse will generate a special microclimate that has certain benefits, so we are going to mix the benefits of the terrace plus the benefits generated by the micro greenhouse system. We are going to start distributing them in the field. The distribution of the arches depends a lot on the climate and the terrain we have. In addition to the resources we can count on for the tension of the plastic, we at the farm make a distribution of approximately 2 or 2 meters to put each one of them, because we have found that it is an optimal distance for our conditions and allow the micro greenhouse that we are generating to last over time. This in one way or another is to be a little more efficient, because the less maintenance we have to perform to the micro tunnel, to the micro greenhouse, we optimize labor, resources, and the function we want with it is provided. We already have the first fixed arch, so we are going to distribute the rest of the arches on the terrace. We have already fixed the arches that are going to give us support to the plastic structure and that we are going to put and that will form our small greenhouse in place. Now we are going to begin to give them some stability with some tensors that are fixed at the ends and some wire ropes, which will prevent the arches from having this flexibility. That is to say, they will facilitate that they are fixed in place and that they do not move. This way we can give them rigidity to the structure. These stakes will serve us as anchors to tension the wires that we are going to fix in the structure to give it rigidity, to hold it. These are located at both ends. For the micro tunnel, we use any type of wire, since the only thing that will provide rigidity to the structure. We use this one because we had it at hand, available, so there is no problem. But if we have thinner or thicker gauges, we can adapt to whatever we have. We are going to throw 4 lines that are going to contribute not only to the resistance, but also to be able to fix the plastic in the best way and that it does not move, that the wind does not degrade it quickly, that it does not stay in places where it is more exposed than in others. That is the purpose of the wire, but regardless of the caliber. We place the first line at the top of our boughs. This is one of the most important lines because it is the one that will give stability to all the boughs so that they do not move from side to side. This rope will prevent the wind from causing movement in them. If we leave these type of movements, they will cause the system to deteriorate and we will have to perform maintenance very often. At this moment in the system, in the arches that we have generated, we have pulled several lines, one that gives us stability and others that will give a shape to the plastic, that is to say, support it. After fixing these lines, we will pull a 4th rope, and with that we will have finished with the lines that are required to hold the plastic structure. To do this, we then use thinner, softer wires, with which we will literally tie these lines to some of the stakes or amarraderas that are loose. Then we use a few more small pieces of wire that the only thing they will do, their only purpose and function, is to take these lines that we already pulled and hold them. This will shape the plastic so that it will be placed in an arc. We have 3 fixed lines. Now we go with a 4th and last line, which is the one that will allow us to fix the plastic at another end. At this moment, we have a structure almost ready. We only need to place the plastic, fix it, and give tension. Here we have the plastic that is going to make our cover, our greenhouse. We are going to put it. It is important to fix the plastic at the ends because that will allow us to fix it with an adequate tension. That is to say that it forms a dome we want. That is not only practical but also beautiful, and that is pleasing to the eye. Because of the type of terraces we use, we are looking for a slightly wider window in this part, which is what we call work area. The area where we are going to work, so that we have the capacity to enter the system to perform all the tasks in an easy way. If you can see the micro tunnel itself, because of the terraces, the slope we have, the way they are, from the upper part of each of them, we could not work the system, because all the work is done from the lower part of the scale. The idea is to give more sustainability to the system so that it is more fixed. This way we ensure that the wind will not cause damage to the weather. In one way or another, if we make sure that these tensions are correct and that the plastics is in the right shape, we are guaranteeing that the system will last 1 or 2 years more than the useful life that is normally given to certain implements. Using a structure for about 2 years is a matter that directly benefits the pocket of us, the producers. We have completed our micro tunnel, our micro greenhouse. We only need to incorporate some kind of irrigation system next time, and it will be an optimal system to produce any kind of vegetables. As a farm, we make a very special invitation. Especially to small producers who want to be efficient in their production systems, that they are not afraid to innovate, to implement new technologies. They will see that everything they implement will improve their lives, and the improvements are given in time, in economic resources, in food security, and also in the management of the crops themselves. It is not the same to control, for example, the so-called weeds in these microtunnel systems, as it is to control them in the open field. because the conditions in the open field allow many of them to develop faster than the plants we are looking for economic purposes. Do not think that if we use certain materials for its elaboration, those have to be the same that you are going to use to develop in your systems. We have to make use and optimize all the resources that we have in our system or near our system. Already it is simply to dream the design that we want, and let's take risks. Let's do it. Let's implement it, and many times that can lead us to innovate and create something new. That may be our contribution to agriculture someday.